Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome to GEEXX Plays Diablo 4, I guess we'll call this. So, I had some other videos to line up, but then I wanted to get this while it was still the new hotness. Man, I feel I shouldn't be saying that because I'm too old. Anyway, this is a new cool thing. I wanted to get a review out while it was still fresh. That sounds better. That makes me sound more my age. So, unless you've been living on a rock, or don't know anything about video games, Diablo 4 was released recently on the June 6th, which was about a week ago, I think, at the time of this recording. So, I've been playing it like a madman ever since, or at least as much as I possibly can, since I'm only up to level 39, I think. Yeah, 39. Boy, I do not look pretty. This is not a good outfit. I should have dressed better for the occasion. But, as a brief overview, Diablo takes place in the world of Sanctuary. This is the fourth game, which means Diablo has overrun the world 3 times previously. Diablo 3 was got some flack when it first came out for not being as good as Diablo 2. I think that was somewhat undeserved. I think the problem was that it was about as good as Diablo 2, but the storyline that they gave us really wasn't all that good. It was kind of cartoony, very haphazard. Storylines in Diablo 1 and 2 were bare bones, pretty non-existent, but, for an action-adventure game, it didn't need to be that good. They tried to do a more in-depth story in Diablo 3. It just didn't work. It was not well written. It was fun in spots, but it just was not well written. Diablo 4 is all about the story, and it is much better written. And honestly, this is where this game is hands and feet, head and shoulders. It's just a lot better than the previous installment. This game has story up the wazoo, and it is all about the story. Man, the story is good. It is also very, very dark. That was one other thing that Diablo 3 got some flack for. The story was just so basic and didn't really fit the theme of the world, I guess. Diablo 1 and 2, it was very, the first game, you were in the town of Tristram, the chapel something happened to the chapel, the town was overrun by undead. And so it's kind of, this spooky game where you had to fight the undead and find out what was causing it. And then in Diablo 2, it took it further, where you weren't just in the town of Tristram, you went over the world, but still very dark. You were following this, this trail of destruction left by the Wanderer, which was, it was just, the theme was very dark. Not very, very dark, but certainly it had a certain tone. And in Diablo 3, that tone was just gone. Everything was bright and colorful. People seemed happy to go on with their lives. It was like no one was aware that anything bad was happening in Diablo 3. That is not the case here. This is the darkest story Blizzard has ever given us. Across any of their franchises. Across Diablo, World of Warcraft, and StarCraft. This game is pretty dark. This is not made for small children. Holy crap. But it is good. I would recommend this game for fans of action RPGs just on the basis of the story alone. I haven't even beaten the game yet. But again, I wanted to get this out while it was still fresh. But now that I've raved about the story, let's talk about the gameplay. This is your standard action RPG. You've got spells on your left and right mouse click buttons assigned to your 1, 2, 3 keys. Town portal, which is standard for Diablo. Potions button is the Q. Health, and it's called Essence because I'm a necromancer. Whatever resources this is changes. It's Spirit for druids. It's Focus for rogues. It's Fury for barbarians. And I think it's Mana for the sorcerers. Not sure. I haven't played many of the classes yet. I haven't played them all. Pretty much just stuck with my necromancer. He's my highest level character to date. But each, the layout is the same for all the classes. And then you have, of course, your equipment. Various levels of equipment in various qualities. Every class has a skill tree, which is set up very much like this, where you have your basic skills, your core skills. This generates whatever resource you need. This spends the resource, and then you've always got some other abilities down here, depending on what class you take. You have an ultimate skill, and then some key passives. This is the same for every class. It's just what skills they are different. It differs depends on what your class is. You also have a Paragon, which I have not unlocked yet, which you get skill points. Every time you level up, you get a skill point to put on the tree. As you put points in, it progresses down the bar. This is very different than what it looked like a couple of years ago. It was more like an actual tree going from the roots up. I think I like that better than like this, but it falls about the same in the early alpha releases. It plays the same. It just looks, it's a little easier to read this way. It's just not as pretty. The Paragon is basically up to level 50. Like I said, you get skill points. After level 50, you get the Paragon tree, which is basically, or it's called the Paragon board. It basically unlocks passives, which you can then enhance whatever skills you plan on playing with. But each class also has a special passive tree here. It varies. Like for barbarians, you get bonuses for your whatever weapons you're using. You can level up your weapons to get better using them. For necromancers, you get your 3 summons, and you can then customize them. I've got an extra skirmisher. I could move them more critical strike. I could have them generate corpses for me. I can have them be defensive, or I can sacrifice them for a buff. If I'm playing as a pure necromancer caster, just get rid of my minions and play as with the buffs. Skeleton mages do shadow damage, cold damage, or bone damage. My elementals can be bone, golems, blood, or iron. Each class has a special passive tree in the middle, which gives you a lot of ability to customize your character to play the way you want, pick whatever skills you want. As far as combat goes, I'll leave the town. Oh, this is new. They added a dodge button, so you can get out of the way of attacks. It's got a 5 or 6 second cooldown, so you can't just dodge constantly.
My boy, I think he's possessed.
And nope, that's not the exit. Little map up here in the corner. Combat is very much the same as all the other action RPGs and the Diablo genre in general. Another good thing about Diablo is, well, not a good thing I guess, but Diablo has a lot of breakables, where sometimes they have stuff in them. Got monsters, you kill them. Hooray! As a necromancer, I leave corpses behind, which I can use to what'd I get? I heard something drop. Dropping loot. As a necromancer, I get corpses, which I can then use to summon new skeletons. I have my skeleton count for skeleton mages down here. Corpses can be used for other things too. That's a healing potion, but my healing potions are full. This has crafting materials, which is different from other Diablo games. Breaking stuff for loot. Another thing Diablo has added, which is cool, which I like, is the ability to traverse terrain. You can jump and jump back. You can. There's some areas you can climb. That's a new addition. I mean, this will follow me. You can interact with the terrain and you can pick up crafting materials, which you can use back in town. Let me see. So that's pretty basic. I would like to say that this game is actually harder than Diablo 3, which I think is a good thing. Diablo 3 was way too easy. I played hardcore mode in Diablo 3. I play hardcore mode exclusively. I died twice before I beat the game, and both the times it was not it was in boss fights, but it was due to like effects. When I was fighting the first boss, the floor was on fire, and I stood in the fire too long and died. The boss didn't do hardly any damage to me. He wasn't a threat at all. Same thing happened for the Act 2 boss in Diablo 3. Like the poison effects killed me. He wasn't a threat to me at all. He didn't do that much damage. I have been killed by little random things. Well, one time was poison, but this game is harder. I have been close to death lots of times. The only thing you like is that you can see stuff up in the distance. Those people are down there. If I was to walk around the hill, they would be there and I would fight them. I sometimes use a dodge just to get a little speed boost. Other quality of life improvements. You don't just get potions, you have an alchemist. As you level up, you make stronger potions, which use the crafting materials which I just gathered for. You can also make elixirs to increase your damage against wildlife, damage against demons, give yourself some resistances. You can refine resources, like say I've got, say I've got 1,000 plain leather, I can make refined leather. So I can, turn lower level materials into higher level materials. I can't craft incense yet. I have no idea what that is. But there are other things. You can upgrade your gear. Another quality of life improvement. That, say you've got a piece of gear. Say you haven't found a new piece of gear for a while. When you salvage a piece of equipment, it breaks down into pieces, which you can then use to upgrade your gear with. I can take this helmet and I can put it on here, and these are the materials it will take, and it will upgrade it. It says it has 2 little gold dots. You can only grade materials a certain number of times depending on the quality. So blue level gear you can upgrade twice. Rare gear you can upgrade 3 times. Legendary you can upgrade 4 times. And then I haven't had to repair anything. I don't know why that's there. There's also all kinds of stuff. Where's the cure? You can jewelers. That's the same. You can add sockets. You can upgrade your gems. Do I have any gems in anything? Yeah, I've got a ruby in my helmet to increase my life. You play hardcore. You want to increase your life. You need hit points. Make sure you don't die. Another new thing here is the occultist. You've got the Codex of Power and Aspects. You can take an aspect. Let's say I have this legendary. See this stuff in this writing in gold imprinted. Your skeletons will gain increased damage while alive up to 20 seconds, 20% after 10 seconds. I can take this item, or I can any of these little gold writings. I can take it out and put it on a different. It will destroy the item, but then I can keep this aspect and put it on something else if I want to. So if I find a little affix that I like, I can keep it. Once I extract it, it becomes a usable item, so I can't keep it indefinitely. I can't take an item. I can't just keep taking it off new items and putting it. Once you've done it, it's kind of gone. But there are ways to keep them, get permanent ones, by doing dungeons. Where's the dungeon? See this dungeon here? I must have done it already. If I beat this dungeon, kill the boss, I get an aspect. And I can add those to my gear. So there's lots of really cool stuff. Man, more stuff. There's just so much going on in this game. There's all kinds of stuff to do. If you can't tell, I've been rambling for the last 15 minutes about how much I love this game. I love this game. One more thing before I go into it. If you notice up here, these little renown, as I find stuff, as I uncover town portals, these are, I got one. I think it's, I don't remember which one I got. I know these are strongholds. Come on, Fracture Peaks. Stay there, yeah. Strongholds, which are places, they're like little towns in danger that you can free, which then become real towns. These little blue arrows, these are side quests, which you can go and do. Not sure what that is. I think it might be areas explored. How many dungeons have you beaten? These Shrines of Lilith give you a permanent stat boost. Those are these little things here. These are the ones I've found. Once you claim it, it gives you a permanent stat buff, not just for you, it's for all of your characters. It does not cross between hardcore and regular games. So all these that I found in hardcore do not cross over. But still. And then as your renown builds up, you have rewards. I get a bonus skill point. You get more potions. Obols is a gambling currency, and Paragon points are for Paragon. But you can just... This game really seems to be built on getting a legacy of your account and to make it easier to level up subsequent characters. Like I think I've got like a bonus of 10 stats. All these little things I found. I think my stats are up like 10 points higher than they should be on all 4 of my stats. So at level 1, that would be a big deal. Level 39, 40, it's not that big a deal. So they were more to help you out leveling. Also, the map. This is the Fracture Peaks. As you can see, I have not uncovered all of it. This is Act 1. Act 2 is in Skosglen, which you can see I also have not uncovered all of it. Dry Steps is Act 3. Kyrgyzstan is Act 4. I have no idea what this is. I'm guessing this is Act 5. This map is freaking huge. There is so much to do. It is kind of awesome that there is so much to do. And there's still so much for you to uncover. Now that I've said the good stuff, let's talk about the bad. When it comes to skill points, they give you plenty. You don't need any more. You can easily get all the skills you want, all the passives you want with your 50 skill points. You can buff everything. You can put. There's a limit to 5 in each node, but since you can't use more than 6 at a time, it really doesn't matter. You don't need to buff all of these. It is also very, very cheap to if you want to respec and try something else. It's not that it's maybe like what 11, 12, 10, 12,000 gold. At this point, it's nothing. So respecing is cheap and easy. That's not my problem. My problem is that Blizzard seems to have gotten an idea that you're going to play it in spite of all this customization. Blizzard has kind of gotten it in their head that they've decided how you're going to play. The way I'm saying that is that, like, I've got skeletons. I'm a summoner. I like playing with lots of skeletons. So there are skills here which buff my golem, buff my skeletal mages, and there's one that buffs my skeleton somewhere too. Anyway, so it buffs my skeletons. But the other things is that all of my passives which buff my skeletons based on skills are shadow damage. So this is all based on shadow damage. I can buff my minions here, give them a certain, when I do use this spell, damage my minions deal is increased to enemies that are being hit by the spell. Me and my minions do increase damage to creatures affected by this spell. But that's only for shadow damage. There are no minion buffs for blood skills, poison skills, or bone skills. It's only shadow. So Blizzard has kind of assumed, I could do, this as well. There's a minion buff for this spell too. So all the minion buffs are on shadow damage. There are no minion buffs on any of the others, or no minion buffs for curses, no minion buff as well. It might not be. There might be. That's a good one. But there's one here for this. One here for this. Okay, so there's one. There's no passives for minions here. No passives for minions here. No passives for minions here. There's one here, but it's shadow damage. So yeah. So Blizzard has decided that people who want to run with lots of skeletons are going to use, if I don't use shadow damage, if I wanted to do, a corpse, a poison or a bone build or a blood build, I would be cutting my damage by like 20%. So that's a problem I have with this. And it's not just necromancers. There are other classes that have similar things where Blizzard has decided that if you're going to play this specific way, you're going to be playing with these abilities and nothing else. The other thing I'm going to complain about is that you're almost leveling too quickly. Like, you pretty much get all of your abilities by like level 25 or 30. You're up here. So like, I haven't really gotten any new abilities in over 10 levels. It's all just passives. So I think you kind of leveled. You're almost leveled too quickly. So you're not. All I'm really doing now is running around, killing things and uncovering the story, which is fun, but I'm not getting any new abilities. So for that, another thing, I think, as much as I love the world being this big, if you stick to just the story, there's my stronghold that I freed. That was my one stronghold. But if you it's like stick to the story, you're not going to you're not going to explore anything. So a lot of this world is just like empty. It's got quests, it's got hubs, it's got all kinds of cool stuff, but it's not related to the story at all. So there's a lot of wasted space. I guess it's a similar complaint I had with Elden Ring. It's that the world was massive and there was no need to interact with most of it. It's kind of the same here. The side quests here, they're actually really well done and lots of fun. But again, like if I did all the side quests in Kyrgyzstan, Kovashad, sorry. If I had like completely explored everything and done all the side quests in this area, I would have been level 30 before I moved on to Act 2. Which is kind of why it's a lot of empty space, so I haven't done anything. So, blah, blah, blah. Again, a game where there's almost too much to do. Aside from my few complaints, one more complaint. Some of the dungeons are kind of repetitive. Maybe not dungeons per se. I don't know. There are some random short little one-room areas that pop up, and it seems that like each zone only has like 3 different templates for each one. There's like, you see like a little hut. You walk inside, it's a room. You find another hut, it's the exact same room. You can find a hole to a cave. You go in the cave. All the caves are the same. Same thing up here. Same thing over here. There's only like a few templates. And they're really just variations on a very simple theme. So that's kind of a, another complaint. That they really should have gotten a little more, I think a bit more variety in their random one-room dungeon aspects. Not a lot, I think, but the fact, who knows? I could be just complaining just to complain. So, you probably can't see, I have too many minions. I think you can actually...
Greetings.
I think you could say hello to a dog.
Hello.
Oh, yes, I did. You say hello, doggy, and you pet him. So, that's a cool thing. Ah, cute little doggy. Cute pupper. Another thing about this game that I haven't mentioned today, it's open world. Oh, and you have mounts. He just mounted up and ran away. These other people, there's other people here. The game world does feel more alive than any other Diablo game, and not just because of the people. You know, you hear sounds, people talk. When you're in dungeons, you hear monsters making noises, you hear spooky whispers and monster noises, so this game does feel more alive than any other Diablo game previously. There are things to interact with, more than usual. So after rambling on for over 20 minutes, what is my verdict? I'm going to give this game just a flat A, not an A+. Some of the things that I've pointed out that I think are wrong, especially with like the skill trees and stuff, are things that Blizzard really should, I think, have nailed out. They're just some minor details that are keeping this really from an A+. I will be playing the hell out of this game, in more ways than one, just because there's Druid. I haven't picked any of their classes. I wonder if I can. I'm not sure if I can log out and show you the characterization screen. So the recording might stop. I have no idea. So I won't do that. But you know, I want to play a druid. I want to play a sorcerer. I want to play a barbarian. The one time I tried playing the barbarian before I died horribly, and had to start over again because I'm playing hardcore. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot more fun than I thought it would be. I really wasn't interested in like the barbarian or the rogue, but now that I've tried the barbarian, I liked it. I want to start a character to do that. And I have all these Lilith altars to give me bonus strength points to do damage with, so he'll survive a lot better. But yeah, there's just a few things, a few nitpicky details that for me kind of keep this from being an A+ game. This won't be my game of the year, but damn, it's a close second. It's not going to beat out Total War Warhammer, but man, is this game fun. And if you like action RPGs, I would definitely give this a try. And honestly, pick something that doesn't have so much crap on the screen. That's the one thing that makes playing a Necromancer difficult, is that there's so many other people on the screen that, you know, yeah, they're cool, and they do stuff for you. Makes it easier to survive, but it does make the screen very busy. But, anywho, yeah, that's pretty much it. I probably had a few other minor details, nitpicky things. You know, buff durations are shorter, some AoE effects are smaller. You know, little nitpicky stuff. But overall, this is a solid game, and it's a ton of fun to play, and the story is really, really well written. Way better written than anything they've ever done in the past. So, if you like this video, something is probably maybe wrong with you. No one should like my videos. But if you do want to hit like, it makes me feel better. Heck, just watching the video makes me feel better. As always, thanks for watching. I apologize for being discombobulated. I don't have my thoughts put together today well at all, which is weird because I've been thinking a lot about this game. Anyway, if you like this video, whatever, thanks for watching, and until next time, good hunting.